Hello and welcome to Expat American. I, of course, am the Expat American, and I just got back from the store and I found something interesting, something I thought they didn't have in Russia. A pumpkin, Halloween. So I talked to some people. Apparently they do have Halloween on a limited basis. There's no trick-or-treating, but there are parties for adults and some parties for kids. And today, speaking of parties and fun, we're going to play some Russian games and find out what card games and board games do Russians like to play. All right, so before we get started, I've got my mysterious late night gaming lighting going. I've got my sports jersey on. This is a Russian hockey team, Domino. Domino is actually the hockey team that is for the police in Russia. There are 4 different hockey teams in Moscow, and this is the one that my wife prefers, so that's what I'm wearing. I have my Russian yogurt drink, kefir, that I've talked about before. It's got live cultures, very tasty. This one has honey in it. Also good for you in small amounts. And this here is another version of gingerbread, is what Americans would call it. And this version, I think it's fair to say it's kind of like holiday food. You can see it actually has Russian letters written on it. And inside, they have different goos. That, I believe, is fruit, a fruit goo. Tasty. Here we go. Now, for our first stack, games that Russians play that are very similar to our games, if not the same. This right here is, can you take a guess? It says in Russian, Domino. It's hard to open because it's an old-fashioned relic of a game that I found. There's the Dominoes. This you may have heard of, but it looks differently. Truth or Dare is what that says. And how about this? Probably recognize the packaging, but not the words. It is Guess Who? Scrabble, but with, of course, Russian letters. And of course, the most popular game in the world right now, Catan. You can see it says Catan in our standard English letters, and underneath that, it's in Russian. Okay, now for the interesting part. The Domino jersey is getting too hot. All right, the interesting part. Now my glasses are messed up. I'll just leave that in the video. Dominoes for kids, and these dominoes are cool because this would be like if they had, I don't know, maybe Winnie the Pooh characters on it, like the ones from Britain that Disney bought. There is a Russian Winnie the Pooh here that looks different, but this is got characters from people's childhood, people like, let's say, in their 40s and 50s, from Soviet cartoons. So this would be a sentimental item people would love to play with their little kids. These are just regular playing cards. It's got posters, old Soviet propaganda posters on it. So this is definitely a Soviet Union themed card deck. And this is something that some people might find interesting and sentimental, and some people might be offended by. But it's basically just cards. This I'm going to save for the end. It's a toddler game. Bought it for my son. Don't know about it yet, haven't opened it. But I think it's interesting that they have Vikings and princesses just like we do. Same with this one. Here's something for teenagers. And now, lastly, the game I've heard of most of all in Russia. The game that comes up in conversation all the time. Mafia. Yes, the Godfather type Mafia card game that you do not need cards for. And look at this one. In the center there, you recognize that guy? Looks like the Godfather to me. So the idea of this game, that again, you don't need cards for. If you don't have cards, you're going to put in a hat little pieces of paper that everyone has to draw blindfolded. And the pieces of paper will tell them who they are. This is Mafia, Mafia. And this is the detective, the policeman. And then you have other crazy characters. So everyone is a different character. No one knows who each person is. You make everyone close their eyes. And then you say, okay, Mafia, open your eyes. And so the Mafia people can quietly look around and know who's Mafia. That looks like, you know who that looks like. Then the policeman gets to open his eyes and other people take turns. And when it's their group's turn to have their eyes opened, they're going to silently point and try and figure things out. And then you say it's nighttime and the Mafia tries to, well, they don't try. They decide who they're going to kill. They'll kill one person. They're hoping to kill the policeman, but anyone's fine. And during the day, the policeman can try and kill someone, and he's trying to kill the Mafia, but he might kill somebody else by mistake. And so this goes on, and of course it's more detailed, and you can read the directions online. I don't want to get too much in the weeds here. But basically, Mafia wants to win, regular citizens want to win. And I cannot wait to play this game. This looks like a lot of fun. Yikes. Now, in America, what is this traditional movie bad guy if you're trying to go with a foreigner? It's Russia, right? What is the Russian traditional movie bad guy if you're trying to go with a foreign bad guy? Well, what I've heard, maybe I'm wrong, is it's Italians. So I grew up watching the Godfather movies, and so that makes sense to me that you might think that Italians are scary. And if I had grown up in Russia playing this game, I would certainly probably enjoy the Godfather films and other gangster films even more. So this is tasty. I like it. But I think I prefer my gingerbread without the jelly in the middle. And I also have a strong philosophy as I get older. If it's not chocolate, it's not worth the calories. So maybe I won't finish that. So there you have it. What Russians like to play. Some games Americans play, some games Americans don't play. If you like this, click like, click subscribe, click the bell notification. And don't forget to click this video up here. It's very special. It's actually 2 times the Expat American. I'm going to have another Expat American with me, and we are going to be visiting a famous university in the grand city of Moscow. Now, this bigger pizza size one was actually very tasty.